What's up, Jojo?
What's up?
I'm here with the Jojo once again, and I want to talk about some shit that we started getting into in a conversation regarding my mini. What do you want to call that? Like a
Your
mini episode?
your hypomania
Hypomania?
episode.
Yeah. There's some stuff that happened that I don't even know how to explain exactly. But how do you want to get into this conversation? The reason why we're getting the reason why we're talking about this right now is because we started talking about uh, the aftermath of the recording session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember anything that happened after. I remember a lot from the recording session.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of, obviously the music itself. We have photos, we have some video from that experience.
Yes.
And I'm able to reimagine all of that stuff. I have a really bad memory if I haven't got into it before. A lot of the reason that I make these videos is because I have bad memory, and I like to rewatch these videos and figure out what the fuck, basically.
Yeah.
So, you started saying, Steve, the week after the recording session.
Mm-hmm.
What were you starting to talk about?
I said you basically just collapsed.
Like, I literally collapsed. I mean, I know what happened the very next day.
So the night of, when we came home on that Sunday.
Yeah, it was a Sunday, okay.
He already put the tracks in the thing, and we listened to it a couple times. And
wasn't I listening to it over and over
yes,
again?
And you fell asleep with your headphones on, laying crossways across the bed. And
so, like, in a position that I never sleep in.
right.
I, was exhausted and I fell asleep in place.
Yes.
Basically.
And I had to, get the headphones off your head and
Yeah.
kind of say,
Did you wake me up? Did I wake up?
Yeah, you did wake up. I said, if you could, move over.
Could you
or,
scooch
what you're
over so I could
doing.
get into the bed?
And then you were like, yeah, and you got up, and I think, I don't know, you may have,
Was I still taking my medication or not yet?
I'm not sure at that point.
I
think you weren't.
I think...
But I think shortly after that, you decided to start,
Why? Now, can I say something? Because we didn't talk about it yet. Okay, now some people know, because they were there, the very next day...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, are we still talking about the night of and all that stuff?
Well, we basically went to bed.
We went to bed.
And the next morning, we woke up. It was like a normal day. We ended up going down to the pool hall for you to practice.
Yeah.
Because you had your first night of pool league.
Yeah, that was pool league night. Was the very next day after the recording session. And what happened? We remember what happened.
You ended up leaving.
I went to the thing, and I was laying across the table. I was I had a team. I was on a team, and I wasn't having fun, for one thing, because this is what happened when you play in a pool league. And no disrespect, but this is why it's not for me. They were telling me, they're like, okay, well, it's not just you playing, there's 4 of us playing. So we had a team captain, and he's telling me, oh, well, you gotta shoot this, make the ball go over here and put it in this corner, because that's a defensive shot. And I was like, no, I'm like, this is too slow, this is too... It was too slow for me. I just wanted to bash the balls around like I always do, and make good shots. But that's not being a good player all the way. But anyway, so I wasn't having fun. I didn't want to follow directions. And I was so tired, and there was all these people there that I didn't know, and I was feeling stressed out, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I just walked out of the place. I called you first, didn't I?
Yeah.
I called you, and I was like, I think I'm quitting.
And I'm like, what? Because
Yeah.
you talked about joining this pool league
For a year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I wanted to join the league at the local pool hall for over a year, and I had been practicing for months.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Every day.
It was almost driving. It was one of the driving forces when I was getting bad. Was this pool winning and playing well and getting better and better.
It was.
And I know you were probably like, well, when is he gonna stop?
But you know what? I'd rather you at a pool hall down the street playing pool than driving around Pittsburgh not knowing what the heck you're doing.
Right.
So I was like, that's why I was like, okay, that's fine. He's playing pool. You can't get into too much trouble doing that. I mean,
right.
Yeah, you certainly can.
We can get more into that what we were talking about earlier. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. So the week, but so that night I quit. I quit playing pool, and what did you say? But you said something before. You said that was what? That was like the beginning.
That was the
of
beginning
you
of you starting to come back.
Yeah.
But from so you had your little hypomania.
Yeah.
You almost touched that mania plane, and that was the moment when you started to come back down.
I don't know, dude. I think I was kind of manic.
I remember you starting to sleep a lot.
After that.
Because I think
that was after that.
Yeah.
Though. It wasn't everything was leading up to that recording session. Yeah. I even knew at the time. Yeah. And I was like, I'm doing this on purpose. I know what I'm doing. Even though I really didn't. And it was nuts. But
you just, so especially that whole week after, you slept so much. You were sleeping a ton.
But I was only sleeping for little increments. But
no,
a lot of
you were sleeping longer.
Oh, I thought that was when I was sleeping for 2 hours.
No, you would fall asleep. It's sometimes you would sleep for 6 hours, 7 hours. Especially at night, you take long naps during the day. But you seem to be more depressed.
How long did this last for, though?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any of that.
You were pretty tired. You didn't want to. We stopped really going out to open mics shortly after that.
Well,
we went to one or two maybe.
We went to. I don't know how many I went to after that, but I remember that was right around the time whenever I was. Wasn't that around the time whenever I was I don't know if I could How long was it before I was I don't know if I could be playing right now. Remember all that crap? That was what was that a month and a half later?
That was around March.
Because we did 2 shows with the Biscuits before.
In March.
Before I got messed up.
And you started feeling that way around those shows.
Yeah.
It was hard for you to play those shows.
There was more than 2 shows, I think. There was 3 shows.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of shows back to back.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
And that's whenever well, even before those 3 shows, though, there was, or was it after? No, it was before. Was the Battle of the Bands? Because Battle of the Bands is where I remember there being dude, there's some kind of spark not here right now. That's whenever I noticed there was something wrong.
Yeah.
And when I mean wrong, I mean being on the other side of the bipolar, which is the downslope. That's whenever I started noticing. I think it was around that time, and that was in March, wasn't it? The Battle of the Bands, the middle of or beginning of March, March 11th or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I'd have to look at my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got a little depressed. You were just not yourself. You're not your normal You're pretty much pretty happy-go-lucky normally. You're pretty much
right now I'm pretty close to
your normal self.
My normal self. Yeah.
Not depressed. No,
Exact-
not normally. So yeah, that was a different side of you. And I've seen you kind of depressed. I've seen you through some little depressed phases occasionally, but like that was a bigger one, and I was like, okay, well, this too shall pass. Um, so I just was like, okay, we were up high, now we're down low.
I was like so low though that whenever I decided to like take a break from playing my trumpet, like I thought that was gonna last months.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I decided there was a low point, one of the lowest points in a while, but I was like, I can't. I'm going to I go to practice still, and I just don't know what to play. I have no motivation to. There's no drive to my practicing anymore.
Yeah, you weren't warming up in the morning, like you weren't.
Well, I
doing
was
your
trying to
normal-
warm up. I was trying to warm up, but like I didn't like I couldn't get this and this and this all to work properly.
And you weren't doing your normal morning routine, like your coffee and your breathing exercises and your.
I stopped that too. Well,
yeah, and so it was a very weird time because like all the normal Steve things that I've grown accustomed
that's so
to,
weird.
like were not there.
That's so weird that like I know you've brought it up a couple times, but like I don't remember it being like that. Where I wasn't doing my breathing exercises too.
Yeah,
I thought there was only. I thought I only missed a few times.
Because there were times that you didn't go to bed. So like you were just go.
That was
all the damn time.
That was before the. That was before the recording session. Yeah.
But still, like there were times where you weren't doing your normal stuff. That's like. Because one of the things that impressed me the most when I first met you was how disciplined you were with, your trumpet playing and your practicing and your, how you.
The breathing and shit.
Yeah, like I was like, wow.
This is a little bit, I wasn't going to talk about anything like this, but this is just some random trumpet shit. But I'm thinking about, not quitting breathing exercises, but maybe finding something new.
You don't want to do the Wim Hof anymore?
I don't think it's helping me as much as I think it is. Or I'm not doing it right. I don't think I'm doing it right. But to do it right goes against a lot of things that I should be doing when I do play the trumpet anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you're not ever supposed to hold your breath when you play a trumpet. That's something that they're like, that they get you out of doing.
Mm.
That's not a good thing. But anyway, this doesn't have anything to do with mental health.
Mm.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm thinking about doing a different breathing exercise.
Okay.
But I don't know where I'm gonna find that. I want to buy some. This is good shit though, because this is just showing you, like I'm getting I have a different motivation this time around playing the trumpet, and I only quit playing the trumpet for like 3 weeks or something like that. But it's
it was more like a month.
About a month.
Yeah.
We quit on the eclipse, and then I started back up like 2 weeks before the Millville show or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, which by the way, I still think the Millville show was like a miracle show for me, because like I was not even like barely back into playing yet, and like I was just so excited for that show.
Yeah, you needed that show.
Yeah, like it just brought it like muscle memory or something, like brought everything together, and I still like, I'm not gonna forget the show in 3 weeks. Like I still had the show fresh in my head, and like that was just a really fun show.
Yeah.
And that like,
I think all of you needed that show.
Yeah, all of us back together and shit. Like, cause like if you're missing a part from a musical group, and you like wait for those cues and things, and it just doesn't sound right whenever you don't got the whole equation. You know what I'm saying? So We're back, baby. All of us. I mean, I'm back. They were all they were still going. I missed 2 shows, and regrettably missed 2 shows. I think I let them down a little bit, but they were very supportive of me. You know, they knew something was up with me, and I needed to get my shit together.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And you did.
I eventually did get my shit back together. Can we talk a little bit about like what went down? Like we were talking about it before. We don't need to get into like a specific part of the conversation. We don't need to get into regarding certain people, but we could still talk about what was happening.
Yeah, you were.
I was
being reckless.
Yeah.
Very reckless.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck.
And
I didn't think. I was like, well, as long as I drive, well, I'm not gonna get caught smoking blunts in my car while the fucking fire alarm. There was a fire alarm in my car that would go off whenever me and some people were smoking blunts in the car. And I was like, we even were at the fucking dispensary. And when we were smoking blunts in the fucking dispensary parking lot, and the fire alarm was going off.
Oh,
like, we could have got the cops called on us easily. If, like, anyway.
And then
I thought I was invincible or something.
And I was just sitting here at home, like, praying that he would come home. Like, I was always so nervous. And like, when are you coming home? Oh my goodness. He was mad that he was stuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just worried about you. And I would say to you, like, aren't you afraid that you're gonna get pulled over? And you're like, so what if I do? And I'm like, aren't you afraid of getting arrested? You're like, so what if I do? And I'm like, Steve.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be arrested.
No.
But you were like, at that point, you were just, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, oh my God. So, it was just, my fear was you getting arrested. And then...
I have a weird thing about, I don't know.
Because you're like not that type of person whatsoever. You're not like whatever type of person. Like you're a little more put together than that. You know, so you were very much for scaring me.
I wasn't myself.
No, absolutely not.
I wasn't myself.
You were being very rude with me a lot, and in the whole time that I've known you, you've never spoken a rude word to me. So
I'm telling you, it was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
It was. And I just
I thought it was all like building me up somehow, as like I thought it was like character building or something. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
I thought it was like giving me some kind of edge with playing somehow. And like I thought I couldn't play a wrong note almost. And I've listened to some of that stuff, and it's not as good as I remember. Not all of it. All the open mics and everything we went to, and some of the recordings. Like some of it's cool. Some of it's cool, but like I don't know. I'm almost afraid to listen to some of it. I don't know.
I mean, I can say that, you know, some of the stuff that you made was a little questionable, but there's also times that watching you at these open mics that you've played stuff never heard you play before or thought you were capable of playing. And I was like,
me too.
I was like, where did that come from?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, it was like I'd say like 75% of it was pretty good, and like that's just one of the things. That's part of it though. Like whenever you're like when you're having like a high like that, you think that you are at a level that's maybe you're not at. Um, you think you're some kind of like genius or something, and I know for a fact that all that feeling in your head is like distorted, because I could tell you so many times that I've recorded myself or something, and then I've gone back and re-listened to it, like I just said about the earlier. But there's been times that I was really bad, and like I'm glad that I recorded it. I'm glad that I could see that, because it's all part of my like my method of keeping myself like right.
Right. Because like every time that these things happen, it does more damage to your brain.
I don't know if I say more damage.
I mean,
yeah, more damage.
Like
but it doesn't
scientific fact.
It doesn't make me like less. I don't know how to explain it. Like I didn't go that far this time. Like I didn't go that far this time. I've been so much worse, Jojo. So much worse. I don't even want to think about it. That's not the conversation I want to get into.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though, like, but anyway. So was it worth it? Me, like, purposely kind of going to this place, this edge? Was it worth it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It doesn't make sense to anybody else but me. I know it doesn't make sense to you, right?
I mean, I can understand why you felt the need to do it, but in doing so, it kind of, you affect the people around you. And in a way, it's kind of like, it's kind of messed up in its own way. Because, like, you do it to...
I wish that the recording session would have been, like, in December or something, and I just didn't, like, push it so hard for a month, and I was already exhausting myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're already making really bad decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the only unfortunate thing is that when you act like this, it affects the people around you.
I know, there's a selfish part of me there's a selfish part of me. I don't know how to explain it. That, like, just like, you don't understand, man. It's like once you've crossed into a certain part of it, like, you really do turn into a different person.
Yeah.
It's scary as fuck. I understand. I apologize. We haven't really talked about it. This is kind of real. I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry. And you're probably really pissed that I'm saying, yeah, it was worth it. Does that piss you off?
A little bit. But I also understand why you did it.
It's like a art. It's like an art thing. I don't know how else to describe it, because it's like when you get like this, like for me at least, like I'm just like I gotta make something out. Like the fucking recording session. Like we couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done anything like that. Like now, because just think the way things were, I couldn't have brought those people together at that right moment. Like I couldn't do anything like that. How could I do something like that right now?
I mean, you met
I wouldn't
some of the
even
people that you did because you were.
Yeah, exactly. There's that, and like there was it was the spending and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't even think, like, even now that I have some money in my pocket, like that I can't go.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, like if I was still like that, I would have been like, yeah, let's keep this going.
That was like one of the biggest surprises for me was the money spending, because I knew you to be very much not like that. You did not like spending money unless you really had to. Like, so for you to just be like,
let's spend all of it.
Yeah, and then you would like come home with like stuff for me, be like, here, I bought you this hat. Here, I bought you this. Here, I bought you that. And I'm like, while I appreciated it and I didn't need it, I was like, thank you, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings. But at the same time, I'm like, Steve, stop spending money.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's what I mean. Like it's all part. It's like, all part of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like I wouldn't have. Well, I don't know if you're saying that in a good or a bad thing, as far as the music project.
I mean, yeah, it came together.
Is it so? Is it like so? Whenever you listen to it now, whenever it's finally done, or is it like bittersweet? You know what I mean? Or are you like, nah, that was fucking amazing. That was one of the coolest. Yeah. Not one of the coolest, but it was a pretty cool.
It was a really amazing experience.
Hell yeah, right?
Yeah, it wasn't tainted at all by your, you know, issue.
Right, like
it wasn't.
I don't think anybody would even bat an eye at it, yeah. except for the one. There was one person who like realized that I was messed up.
Well,
or maybe
other than me.
Yeah, but like even now we kind of like maybe we should change the subject.
I just think that the recording session came together the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And it was an enjoyable experience. I've never been inside a recording studio before. I've never seen any of that stuff. So to be able to even participate in it was like a really cool experience.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it happened for you, and I was really happy that you got to do that, because I know it's something you wanted to do for a while. So because of that fact, I put my feelings aside about, you know, being hurt that you did do everything you did for that reason, because I know it's something that you worked really hard for.
Yeah.
But if you just decide to go be manic just because you're bored, I mean, that's fucked up.
It isn't like, that's not how it happened though. It just kind of started happening around the recording session during the Brooklyn thing.
The Brooklyn, yeah.
And like and I think the Brooklyn thing to me was more personal than it was just recording something in another city.
Mm-hmm.
For me, whenever my band went to Brooklyn, New York to record some stuff for a project, and that to me that turned my head upside down. I don't think you fully understand. And I did things at that recording session that I couldn't do with a normal brain. Because I don't know how to explain it. There was 27 takes, and I did every take like I had like my endurance was like infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got through the entire session. Like every song, I was just like, damn, like playing my heart. I was like, we're in fucking Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York to me is like one of the most important. Not only is it New York City, but it's where a lot of my hip hop heroes were born in, and so it was special to me to be in that part of New York City in particular. I just thought it was so cool. So
Yeah.
it was great. That's what started it. That's what started it all though. Was going there. So it wasn't that I was just bored and I felt like starting to push it to do something. It was like that I was already my head was already a little bit crooked from that experience, I'd say. So that's what started it all. There was going to Brooklyn, and then I was like, was it back then even? Whenever I was like, I'm gonna go do a recording session, blah blah blah. When did I make that decision? Do you remember?
I think it was around the time that you saw that he was having that deal.
You know when I think it was? I think it's whenever I picked up that second job. In
And then you were like, I can afford.
I was like, I can afford this.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I got a second job at a different mall. I'm not gonna say all the information about that, but I got a second job, and that's always what it's been though. Is I needed extra money for everything in all cases. Um, I'm not gonna get into all that, but that's what happened.
And you were like, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. And what happened whenever I got that second job? Things didn't go good. Things did not go well.
No, you started spending money out the butt.
I'm talking about my attitude, and I got into freaking
you
fight. Like I fought with my manager, and we were cussing it in front of customers, and it was a really bad thing. And like she was like trying to get me fired, and like I was pissed off at her because I thought that she was doing just as bad things as I was doing. Because she was cussing too, man. She was cussing in front of customers. We were both cussing, and that was like one of the ultimate things was doing, like. I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit. Here's what happened. I made a mistake at my job and giving a receipt to somebody, and I guess that there was another employee who did the same thing that I did in order to do something illegal so that you could get money out of the mistake. And I did it because I didn't know what I was doing and I was still a new employee. And she accused me in front of customers of stealing. And I just flipped my wig. And then she started flipping back out at me too.
Yeah.
That's what happened. But anyway, then if I was in a normal state of mind, I wouldn't have flipped out on her to begin with, because we would have figured it out and everything would have been fine, and I still would have had a job.
Right.
But I was so like rigid and like I couldn't keep my cool at the time. I was like flipping out on stuff all the time, probably a little bit. To an extent, right?
Yeah, that's why I just didn't say much to you.
Because I would get upset easily.
You were like on a hair trigger a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not like that normally.
No.
I'm a chill dude, chill dude.
Yeah, you're a very chill dude.
Yeah.
You're very easy to get along with. Like you're not hard to get along with at all.
Right.
So I'm like walking on eggshells, and I'm like, oh my god.
So what do you think of me at the moment? How do I seem to you?
You're much better. You're much calmer. You're more even. Once you started taking your meds again and getting like on an even level,
Yeah.
getting sleep, eating, because you were not eating when you were in that moment.
In that state of mind.
Yeah, I had to beg you to eat. Like, I would make dinner and like I would eat and you wouldn't.
I was trying to lose weight.
That's a whole other discussion. But you started eating again and you started wanting to stay home more. Like, you didn't want to go out anymore. You wanted to stay home. And I'm like, okay, you know how I am. I like staying at home too. So we started spending more time at home. And like,
I was depressed.
I know.
That's why I didn't want to
go anywhere.
Because I was depressed.
I didn't like that part because I didn't want you to be depressed. And I mean, I even got to the point where I was like, do you want to color with me? Do you want to do the light brights with me? Do you want to watch a movie? And you were just like, no to everything. Yeah. And I didn't want to push you because I know what it's like to be depressed and someone push you and push you and push you.
I'm like not remembering this part of it.
Yeah, I was like, I would ask you if like you wanted to do certain things and you would like turn me down every time. But I know what it's like to be pressured when you're depressed and you're not ready.
Yeah.
So I would just let you do you. But then you started taking your meds again and you started getting better.
I'll say that there's two things that are happening now that did not happen when everything was completely gravy. Which is this. The Seroquel makes me very... I don't know if it's because I'm on a higher dose or what, but I'm very tired. When I wake up in the morning, I didn't have that problem the whole time. You know me.
Yeah,
I would always... Don't you remember? Don't you remember? I would wake up and I'd be ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, manic or not.
Yeah,
I would be ready. I would jump out of bed and I'd be like, we're doing breathing. And then we're doing trumpet, like, every morning. Now, it, like, right now, I have that attitude right now as we're speaking. It's, like, getting late. Just getting close to bedtime. And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna wake up early. And then we're gonna get up and play before 8:30. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen because I can't get up anymore like that.
I think your body's honestly still adjusting because you figure October, it started in October, end of October, so we'll not count that.
I don't know when it was when I stopped taking my meds.
Well, we'll just say like the whole hypomania was November, December, January, February. So 4 months.
Yeah.
You were like this. And now March, April, May, June, we're 3 months into a recovery period.
But so, I think my body is like, it almost like it started at zero again, and I gotta get I gotta get used to these meds all over again.
Exactly.
Because I was on them for years.
Yeah, and you had to go to lower doses too. You couldn't take your regular doses because they were too high. So you had to start over. Right.
So there's that. There's the Seroquel, and in the morning I can't get up. And there's the marijuana thing, where before I had been smoking for 2 years, and like I had some ups and downs with it, but I had found something that worked, and now every time I smoke, even right now, like I'm not quite right. Like it's not a worry-free event. When I smoke, every time I smoke, it has to be intentional. It has to be at a certain time. I can't smoke all day long like I used to.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna ruin my fucking day.
Right.
I can only do it at the end of the day when I know like I basically have no more responsibilities for the day.
Well, I mean, you kind of fucked with your brain chemistry. If you think about it.
Just in general, the whole experience.
Yeah, by being hypomanic and then coming back down from that. You changed your brain chemistry, so maybe. You gotta start over with everything now.
Yeah.
With the meds, with the weed, figuring out what works for you, and it may be that you have to start with these, like what you're doing now, just the little things in the evening, and then I hate these you start in the evening with your little bit, and then maybe that'll eventually change.
Yeah.
You know, because you were smoking a lot when you were, you know,
Yeah, it was all
having your
medical.
episode.
It was all medical too.
Yeah, so like
I can't believe how much I smoked.
maybe
It's
your
not.
brain's a little in overdrive when it comes to that, you know?
You do like things to the extreme. See, like if I was still drinking alcohol, that would be me like drinking, and being like, oh, I don't feel drunk, and like keep drinking. That would be like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. Well, like, well, it would be like that. I'm just saying that you like push your body to the extremes. There's still stuff that I'm like, I haven't looked at it that much, but like slowly, like a little bit here and a little bit there, I'm like taking down videos and shit. I'm like, well, first of all, that sounds like shit. Why don't you take that down? You could, so whatever. Like a lot of those times where I was like trying to sing high, and I was like, my range did go up a little bit, a little bit. My range went up a little bit for some reason from all the smoking cigarettes. Somehow, I was like ruining my voice.
You claimed that it was helping your voice.
It was though. My range went up. I was like even the, and it's really funny, but it still fits. Was hearing my voice on the when I was editing, I was doing some mixing last week for the recording stuff, and whenever he singled out my voice, it sounded like shit. But like for some, but sometimes when you sing like shit, and it like blends in to the music in a way that sounds good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I still just crazy? I don't know.
Oh, I can understand that.
Does it sound good when you hear it? Whenever you listen to it?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You think it sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But when he isolated the vocals, it sounded kind of shitty.
Really?
Yeah. I could go back and listen to it myself. I got like a verse recorded. I have the isolated vocals on private. I could go listen to it right now. I'll listen to it after this video. Is there anything else we should talk about? Because this is like 45 minutes long.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know how to talk.
Is there anything else that we could think about?
Unless there's anything you want to touch on.
I just don't think we fully well, I mean, probably the only people that are gonna watch this are like me and like 10 other people. But I just don't think we came anywhere near close to nailing on the head on how bad I was. How really bad I was.
Yeah.
It's a few times. Even if it was just in a brief moment and it was an extreme, like, elevated fucked upness.
When we were coming home from an eating establishment, and it was very late at night, and we were listening to music, and you got really emotional, and you like grabbed my hand, and you started driving like faster, and I'm like, what is he doing? And I got like scared in that moment because I didn't know like what you were planning to do. I'm like, is he gonna like just drive us off a bridge or some shit? I'm like, what is going on? And then you eventually calmed down and you let my hand go. But like,
I remember that.
I was scared in that moment.
I remember that.
And I was like, what
was the song? Do you remember?
I want to say it was something by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So I was, a little freaked. Mostly in the car with you while you were driving.
I just, in general, was just not pleasant to drive with.
Yeah, because you would drive, like, you suddenly became shifted over towards the right on everything. So if you were in...
If there was a car next to me...
You were very close to that car.
Yeah.
Or if you were in the right lane, you were very close to the side of the road. So if there was, like, a barrier there, you were very close to that barrier. And, like, I would constantly be flinching because I thought you were going to hit stuff.
Dude, Chase.
And there were multiple times that I was like, hey, do you want me to drive home? And you were like, no, I got it. And I'm like, does he really got it? You know? So that was mostly the only times that I was ever scared. Except for that one night here. I got a little scared. For you, not for myself. Because I've never once been scared of you that you were going to harm me physically.
I've said it in other videos, but yeah, I know exactly the night you're talking about. The night that I was just, like, really upset over the juggalos.
Yeah.
I was upset about the juggalos, like, really upset. Because Jojo didn't like ICP.
And I guess I like said...
I couldn't understand why you didn't like ICP.
You were like... And I guess I said, oh my God, that's so dumb or something like that. Like, I didn't, like, I made fun of it.
And I, like, thought you were ignorant. I thought you were being ignorant. Like, I was like, you don't understand.
You're like, you're so ignorant. I can't believe that. And I'm like, is he really freaking out? Like, you were really mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he really this mad over this? This is so dumb. Like, who cares that I don't like them?
I know.
But you were mad and you just, like, went off.
That's that trigger temper shit that, like, doesn't exist except when I'm in a certain fucked up state of mind.
Yeah. And it just turned into a whole big thing.
Can I tell you what that almost what I'd say that state of mind is?
What?
That's being psychotic.
Yeah.
That's what being psychotic is. Is that person that I turned into. That's what it was. And then there's another person I turn into, which is whenever I'm having if I ever have a really bad panic attack, and like I can't even talk about that because I haven't seen that person in a long time, which is really good because I think in fact I stopped seeing that shit because I finally got a med change. And I switched to my doctor finally listened to me and he switched me to Seroquel. Because I wasn't on Seroquel always. I was on fucking
Geodon.
Yeah, Geodon fucked me up. I got all kinds of videos about Geodon that are on private that I should probably go and watch sometime.
Yeah, that shit's nasty.
Geodon would make me want to, like, it would make me just, there'd be like shit that wasn't even real that was going through my head, like to the point where I just wanted to die. I just wanted to stop. It wasn't like I was depressed because whenever I was normal and I wasn't having these panic attacks, whatever the fuck they were, like I was fine. Like it wasn't like I was just depressed all the time. It was just that, like, when I would get to this state of mind, I thought, I don't know, I was in like some kind of like living hell, and I just wanted to, like, it was like that scene in fucking Clockwork Orange where he's going nuts and he jumps out the window. Like that's what it was like. You'll edit some of this shit out. Probably not. Whatever. This is 50 minutes long.
Oh my god.
Do we want? Are we good?
I'm sure you're gonna edit it, so.
Well, now that this part's at the very end, it'll be good. It'll be easy to find.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe this could be a learning experience, and it could be like the beginning of something that's good that can happen out of this, because maybe I needed this to refocus what I'm doing with all my music. Not refocus. I don't want to say refocus what I'm doing with my music stuff, but like it just makes me realize that like I could be doing more, and I don't need to fucking be out of my mind to make some really cool stuff. And I'll give you a perfect example of my being normal and being able to create cool stuff. Listen to all those recordings we were listening to yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play them all for you, but I was like good when I recorded all that stuff. I'm fucking good, dude. So I'm gonna cut it, I think, now. But I'm having, you know, staying on track for me is like playing every day and having a goal. Get a little bit better on my trumpet every day, so that we can fucking, you know, I want to be back to where I was, so that we can record some ill shit with my group and my own shit, maybe, if we could ever get out of this place. Try not to stay stuck, kids. Get out of that hole. Dig yourself out of that hole. You have a great one, Joe. You have a great one.